Welcome to highlights of the Queen stage of the Ruta del Sol. Don't forget you can catch all the previous stages and the whole of this race on the GCN app in all of its different size highlights packages. It was the Queen stage today into Baza because we had two first category climbs kicking things off. Once again, as we've done throughout this Ruta del Sol, the big climbs come early on, chopping up our main peloton and then feeding them in to what is left in the finale. In this instance, a team who packed good quality in there, or two teams in fact who had their big numbers, Astana Kazakhstan and also Bahrain Victorious, who had Caruso, Landa and Jack Haig in there too, looking to play the numbers game. One of the riders distanced after 3 brilliant days was Alessandro Covi, an Italian race leader in that yellow jersey, and in the end being left to do the lion's share of the chasing by himself. And then the attacking started once the two first cat climbs were out of the way and the final run-in to Baza in Granada province. And it was Ben O'Connor constantly attacking and taking with him Alexei Litsenko and Damiano Caruso. Next of those to try and jump across was Simon Yates, the British rider for the Australian team, kicking hard to try and go across clear, making sure he was taking no one with him too. But this was the point, after they'd regrouped, the decisive final breakaway happened. It was Alexei Litsenko, fresh from his win on the gravel in the Jaén Paraiso race last weekend, who took with him Wout Poels of the Netherlands and the ever-present Bahrain Victorious team in that leading group. Behind, the riders in what remained of our leading group were continuing to attack each other. But all the while, the lead of Wout Poels and Alexei Litsenko just continued to hold steady with the gap they'd already given themselves going over the last of those little kickers. Brian Smith and I myself were watching this thinking this is going to be Litsenko's stage win and potentially Wout Poels taking the race lead. Behind them, Simon Yates was not content to sit and wait though and wait for the final sprint. He wanted to put little time gaps in between himself and the other riders there, the likes of course of Miguel Angel Lopez. This was the final turn to the finish, Wout Poels being navigated and manoeuvred into the front by Alexei Litsenko because he was going for the jersey, of course. He opened up the sprint. We thought Litsenko would come round him at this point, but Wout Poels had just enough energy to hold off the Kazakh rider, get his arms in the air and take both the Queen stage and the yellow jersey. This was the remnants of our breakaway, our leading group, and young Mauri van Sevenant of Belgium and the Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl team out-sprinting the others to take a fine third place on the Queen stage. He has ridden well this week, van Sevenant. Of course, after them would sprint in the remnants of our main peloton. Even that being split into many, many pieces. Wout Poels delighted with yet another win, taking his 20th professional victory as well of his long and illustrious career, with a great final sprint and one that I have to say Brian Smith and I didn't quite expect. He won the stage ahead of Alexei Litsenko and Mauri van Sevenant. As I said, Simon Yates sprinting in to take fourth place ahead of Damiano Caruso. And Wout Poels and his team have a lot to be happy with there. They rode very well. I think he's not so happy about having his number touched after the finish. Wout Poels would in quick measure be up on the podium receiving the yellow jersey as race leader, because there's the overall. He leads by 10 seconds from the defending champion Miguel Angel Lopez as we go into tomorrow's final stage, all in the Jaén province between Huesa and Chiclana de Segura. Do join us tomorrow for the conclusion of the Ruta del Sol.